Hey everyone, happy Friday. Ta-da, ta-da, you made it. Another week down and a couple more weeks to go before we see what's in store for this country. It'll be interesting to say the least. Today I'm going to go over the top 5 fundamental principles of preparedness. These are not the principle of preparedness, but these are fundamentals, rules. I shouldn't have said principles, I should have said rules. So let me try that again. Hello, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. I'll start there. So, the top 5 fundamental rules of preparedness. Okay. So, if you are not following these rules of preparedness, then you are having a very different experience than what you could be enjoying. You could be enjoying, yes, enjoying preparedness. You could be doing it fear free. You could be doing it without anxiety. You could be doing it and feel peaceful and happy and just having an overall better lifestyle because of these 5 fundamental rules. So, let's tune in and see how you fare on the 5 rules. It's not what you think it is. Some people say the first rule of prepping is keeping your mouth shut. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. If you are thinking that way, then you are violating one of the fundamental rules of prepping. Now, that is not to say that you go around and you advertise to everybody, I got a year's supply of food. That's not what I'm saying. It's just not one of the 5 fundamental rules, okay? I'm not saying that operational security isn't a good thing. But if it's looked at in the wrong way, you are going to be crippling yourself and not having a positive experience in preparedness. So here we go. The first fundamental rule. I know I need a drum. Can I have a drum roll, please? All right. I mentioned this the other day on a video, but I just did it in passing. The first fundamental rule is that preparedness is a lifestyle of self sufficiency, not a destination. It is a lifestyle. You got to think of preparedness like it's fitness. It's not reaching a specific goal and stopping. I mean, what do you do that very second where you reach the perfect body? I know you all can't look like this. No, I'm just kidding. But what do you do when you reach just that perfect body? Then what? You just stop working out? No, we don't. We keep going. We keep going. Preparedness is like fitness. Self sufficiency is like fitness. And that's what preparedness is. It's a self sufficient lifestyle. Um, Once I realized this, then my angst just went down significantly. I wasn't working against the clock. Oh my gosh, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen and I'm going to be caught unawares. It's not like that. That's not how I prepare now. I prepare in a consistent lifestyle manner. It's not like when I work out, and yes, I do work out. Whew, it's not like when I work out that I'm like, okay, I'm done with working out. I've now perfected every muscle in my body. Blah blah blah. I don't do that. I work out because if I don't keep working out, then muscles are going to get out of shape. They're not going to be serving me properly. My oxygen system's not going to be serving me properly. And if I don't keep doing it, then what I've done before is useless. It's the same thing with preparedness. So key aspects of the lifestyle are to develop daily habits and also to develop skills. Skill development is critical. For example, we have a lot of lists in preparedness, a lot of checklists, and I understand that can give us the impression that it's a destination. But for example, let's just talk about food preparedness. I know, my favorite topic. But for food preparedness, once you check off everything, let's say you have 30 pounds of fats per person for a year, and you can just check that out. I would still keep doing more because you never know who else you can help. So it's just never going to be done is my point. Once you have enough food stored, not once you have enough food stored, I shouldn't have started the sentence that way. Um, we're focusing on having enough food to get us through a year-long crisis. But part of that has to be gardening. Um, that's preparing for tomorrow and then the next day and the next day, because you're going to run out of stuff eventually. The skill sets are going to be so important, and that's part of maintaining a lifestyle. It's a continuous learning experience. We've got to constantly stretch our minds and our thought process to say, okay, how can I be more self-sufficient at this? How can I be more self-sufficient at this? If there's something in your food, for example, that you don't like, figure out a way to change that so that you don't have to have it in your food. Can you make it from scratch? Absolutely, you can. You'd be surprised. I remember having a gal that worked for me. I think I may have said this the other day, who didn't know what plant pickles came from. And that she just, at some point, she just stopped her continuous learning about her world around her. So, I mean, although the fact that she came up with the question and said, "Where do pickles come from?" I guess that's continuous learning on her part. Just, she was a full grown adult, folks. All right. When we make sure that it's about a lifestyle, then we adapt to changing circumstances much better. When it's a destination, we have our checklist, it's checked off, and then we're thrown a curveball, then it's easier to have a meltdown that way. So it's a much healthier mental fortitude position to come at preparedness from a lifestyle perspective of self-sufficiency and not a destination. Growing a garden year after year, that's not a destination, that's a lifestyle. Regular maintenance of equipment, that's not a destination, that's a lifestyle. Updating plans as family needs change, lifestyle. Okay? All right, rule number 2, always get the lay of the land. Now, what does that mean? That I referenced this the other day when I was talking about the 10 principles of preparedness, but nobody would go into anybody in the military would never go into a full-blown operation without always getting a lay of the land. They want to see it from a 10,000 foot view. And that's the important way to look at preparedness, because it's a danger of tunnel vision in preparedness. And so many people have it. I see it abundantly. And that's when you get those blessings from heaven where he gives us a dress rehearsal kind of scenario and you realize where your gaps are. Chances are, if you have gaps in preparedness, it's because of the tunnel vision that we have about destination focus instead of lifestyle focus. So the comprehensive preparedness categories, as I've shared with you in the 10 principles of preparedness, let me go over them again just real quick. First is spiritual preparedness. Second is mental preparedness. Third is physical preparedness. Fourth is medical preparedness. Fifth is sheltering and clothing preparedness. Sixth is fuel preparedness. 7 is water preparedness. 8 is food preparedness. 9 is financial preparedness. And 10 is communications preparedness. If you've got those 10 principles and you are living your lifestyle based on those 10 principles, then you're sitting pretty. You're not going to have these gaps. You're not going to run the risk of tunnel vision. And the problem with tunnel vision is not only is it not helpful on that which you're focused on, I mean, it rarely is, but it risks forgetting other more important and prioritized categories. So really, really important, that kind of resilience, making sure that you're always getting a lay of the land. All of those principles interconnect with each other. No one of them stands by itself. Spiritual preparedness carries through to every single principle. Mental preparedness carries through to every single principle. So keep that in mind and make sure that you're always getting the lay of the land. Ask yourself, do I have tunnel vision right now? Am I being myopically focused? Just create your own preparedness map. I strongly recommend you do it based on the 10 principles of preparedness, but find balance between the different areas, and you will do so much better. All right, next rule. Self-sufficiency, ironically, requires community. That's right. That's rule number 3. This whole lone wolf prepper thing, just because you haven't been able to trust somebody in the past doesn't mean you won't be able to trust somebody in the future. We've all been burnt before by so-called friends. I can't abide cowards to this day because of my experiences. But it's a myth to think that you can just be a lone wolf prepper. No, it doesn't work that way. You will lose so many assets by being a lone wolf prepper. Instead, you need to build a resilient community within your life. Identify needed skills, needed assets, people that you love to be around. Find like minded people, building trust gradually. You build that trust. You don't just extend it and there you go, but you build on that trust. And they're going to have to build trust with you as well. Remember, they've got assets to protect and a family to protect and themselves to protect. So understand that building a resilient community takes time. Again, lifestyle, not destination. Some practical community building activities are skill sharing workshops, some community gardens, or working with local emergency response teams. Now, you can maintain OPSEC while you're building these connections so that you're not exposing yourself unnecessarily. But that doesn't mean that you don't need a community, and you do. You need them based on their assets of skills, virtues, mental fortitude, etc. Next rule is don't prepare to be miserable. So many people I'm seeing do halfway approaches to preparedness, and they think, well, I don't have the money, so I'm just going to get this. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is making sure that you maintain a quality of life in your self-sufficiency efforts. It doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the things that are important to you. It just means that you need to find a way to make those important things continue with you in your self-sufficient lifestyle. This is a very, very light analogy, but I'm not going to prepare to be miserable because I have lots of peanut M&Ms stored. But more importantly, I've taught myself how to make chocolate from cocoa and fat. So if chocolate's important to you, then be prepared to always have it on hand and use those skills consistently so that it's as easy as the back of your hand. It doesn't feel like, oh, we must be in an emergency time because I'm making my own chocolate. No, I get to make my own chocolate on a regular basis. It's wonderful. I can't make peanut M&Ms per se because I can't get that hard crust figured out just yet, but I'm sure there's a way if I really wanted to do it. There's some things that you can't do yourself, but there's plenty of things that are important to you that you can prepare now so that you still have that sustainable comfort. Um, that goes down to storing foods that you'll actually enjoy eating. Look at my cookbook in the Magnificent Pantry. Check out those recipes. All those recipes were there to help you enjoy eating what you're stocking up on. Look at multiple ways to cook your favorite meals. Make sure that you plan for entertainment and morale boosters, and make sure that you have those comfort items that serve multiple purposes. The other day, I was creating a picture of a guy in a bunker who had obviously been prepared for some years, but I made sure that he had his teddy bear with him too, because, we all need our comfort items. Building systems that enhance daily life now is what will save you in a crisis. And I'm not talking about a society down crisis so, solely. I'm talking about everyday crises, curveballs that you get all left and right. Um, Creating joy and comfort and self sufficiency is part of that lifestyle, not preparing to be miserable. Don't tell yourself, well, I've got a year's supply of ramen noodles. At least I know I won't die. First of all, you don't know that. Have you ever eaten a year of ramen noodles? But secondly, you are preparing to be miserable. And that's just not a lifestyle that you're going to want to sustain and maintain. And it's not a lifestyle, or you'd be doing it now. You'd be eating ramen noodles morning, noon, and night. So make sure that you're preparing to be joyful and comfortable. Don't prepare to be miserable. All right, last rule. Rule number 5, stock up on peace, not fear. There is a psychology of peaceful preparedness that is valuable and useful. Fear-based decisions will always backfire because our mind is not clear. Our mind is looking at from a point of weakness instead of a point of confidence and strength. There are practical ways to maintain a perspective of peacefulness rather than fear. And part of that is to focus on skills over stuff. Also, regular practice and testing so that you know that you can rely on such and such cooking method to help you out, or you can rely on such and such person to help you out. Stock up on peace, not fear. When people ask me about, well, why even bother? Because somebody's just going to come along with a bigger gun and take everything. That tells me that they're stocking up on fear. And you can say, well, Colleen, you're not being realistic. You know, spiritual preparedness is the first principle of preparedness for a reason. And the fact of the matter is that if somebody comes along and has a bigger gun and decides to take some of my supplies or all of my supplies or even my life, it it doesn't matter to me because that's not ultimately why I'm here on this earth. I'm not here on this earth to stock up on wheat. I'm here on this earth to follow a path that God has given me, and that's the path that I'm going to take. That's the one I will take willingly. I'm not worried about people who want me to share. I will let them have part of what I've got to share. They will work for it. That's a self-reliance principle, is to work so you can eat. I am not worried about looters and things of that nature because I don't stock up on fear. I'm not Pollyanna. I understand that it's out there. I'm prepared to defend myself if need be, but I'm not stocking up on that. Do I go to the range and shoot and practice? Do I practice my self-defense moves? Do I practice clearing my house? Absolutely. I think strategically. But when I think about it, I don't think, oh, what if I can't do it? What if I can't defend myself? I'm doing the very best that I can. God knows I'm doing the very best that I can. I am stocking up on peace so that I can live. If I stocked up on fear, I would be paralyzed. So I focus on skills over stuff. I focus on the good things that I have control over, and I have control to make them good, not scary. I celebrate progress. I maintain a normal life while preparing because it is a lifestyle for me. I mean, just the other day while I was listening to TV, I cut up, I don't know, probably 10 pounds of dehydrated bell peppers because, or cut up bell peppers to dehydrate, I should say. I mean, this is my lifestyle. This is what I do. It's not because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I can't have bell peppers someday? It's like, I'm going to do this because bell peppers are going to go bad in my refrigerator and I don't want to waste them. And I can still make a really yummy mirepoix out of bell peppers that have been dehydrated and onions that have been dehydrated and carrots. And I know mirepoix doesn't really contain peppers, but it kind of does in my world. Anyway, some of you are like, what's mirepoix? Oh yeah, I see one of you are. What's mirepoix? I love your spelling. It's French. I don't know what the French means, but it's basically the three ingredients that you make that's the foundation of a lot of recipes, which is carrots, onions, and celery. So that's mirepoix. But I usually add a fourth ingredient, which is bell peppers. So anyway, conclusion, those are the 5 rules. So let's go over them one more time. Number 1, obviously, is it's a lifestyle, not a destination. Number 2, always get the lay of the land. Please stop whining, baby. Number 3, self-sufficiency requires a community. Number 4, don't prepare to be miserable. And number 5, stock up on peace, not fear. So start with one area that you could do better on, one rule that you could do better, a fundamental that you can follow better, and build steadily. And reminder to you is that preparedness can bring peace. It's not anxiety. I have some people who will look at a list of foods that they can eat for a year. Yeah, don't look at it that way. Stop doing that. Look at what you can do for this week. Look at what you can do for next week. Whatever it takes for you to eat that elephant one step at a time, you will get there. You will be surprised at how the small steps lead up to big strides. I extend an invitation to you to share with me your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you on this, and I would love to celebrate your progress with you. That's what I'm here for. We now have a Preparedness Pro community page. It's not a page, it's a group. Just go to Preparedness Pro, but choose the group instead of the page. And we want to grow that so that all of you can be conversing with each other, because that's not conducive on a page. You just basically respond to what the page owner posts. And I want more of a community involvement. So just go to Preparedness Pro, or go to facebook.com/groups/Preparedness Pro, and you will find us. Make sure that you like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends, and make sure that you subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on Facebook, and I look forward to being there for you and celebrating your progress. Take care. Bye-bye.